surprise video. This is my first time posting 2 times in a week on YouTube, but I felt like this one was too important to wait for the Thursday, and honestly I already planned for Thursday and got really excited about what I wanted to talk about, so I wanted to just be like, you know what, this video needs to be separate because it's actually important. And I just feel like I unblocked such a big part of my heart chakra. Like every time I'm in like this stagnant period, I find chaos, but in a very different way now. Like it used to be through people, but now it's just through my own mind. Like I can really feel myself like just start stuff up there. Like this morning I had a memory of waking up in the hospital after my surgery and looking up through my phone and not seeing any messages, and for some reason it just triggered me. Like I was like, oh, I'm so sick of everyone who talks behind my back. I'm like, I hate that everyone watched my story but no one said anything to me, blah 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 blah. And I was like just pure anger about that. And then I went for a walk and I was like, okay, why did I choose to react like that on a memory and stuff? And then I started realizing, I'm like, I'm stuck in the past. Like I could feel my anger get triggered, and then it's just thoughts of the past. Like nothing about the actual moment is doing anything to me, because every time I think about like, oh, people are talking behind my back, I'm not talking about anyone in my current reality, you know? Like I am literally talking about people I met and like people I used to share connections with, and I'm like, man, this happened like so long ago, months ago, years ago, and I'm like really holding on to it. Got into 2 things while I was at the cafe. I started crying at the cafe because I was like, okay, I knew I had some level of imposter syndrome. I just didn't know what that looked like on me, because you hear about it within other people, how they experience it. They just don't feel like what they're doing aligns with like how they feel or something like that, right? But for me, how that played out, like how what I was doing doesn't align with me, is like when I'm resting. When I'm in this state where I feel like I'm in my healing stage, where I'm trying to trust everything, go with the flow. Whenever I feel called to action, that's when I will. And then when I don't feel called to do anything, I just rest and receive. And that's the part I'm having the most trouble with, because I've never really felt comfy in a resting period. Like whenever I used to rest in general, like if it wasn't me growing up or even like some experiences I had with an ex of mine, like I'd be like, okay, I'm useless because I'm just laying here. So I think that when I'm just trying to rest and then these thoughts come up, it makes me want to just like put more action into the stuff I'm already doing consistently every day and trying to keep it sustainable. But those days I'm just like, no, let me go back to work, and I cut off my like resting short and stuff like that. So it's very intrusive in a way where I'm like, no, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not that person who reacts to these things. I'm not all of that, but there's old parts of me that keep resurfacing, like they want to stay. And I just think it's because mainly I'm not used to flourishing, if that makes sense. I'm not used to having so much spotlight on me consistently in a good way, and I'm not used to so much compliments given my way daily. And it's just, I don't know how to react to them. I don't. And it's just so sad, because I'm like, I want to be this person who gets into these things. Like if that event last week showed me anything, it's just that like that new me wants to bring myself out into the limelight, like wants to do all these creative things and align myself with all these people, but there's a part of me that's just like, you don't fit in. And that's what happened. Like that night when I went in this washroom stall and cried about it, my first thoughts were just like, you don't fit in here, this is not your place. And so when I think of like putting myself out there on camera and stuff, I'm just like, is that even what is that's not what you used to do? And I used to get in my head like that so much, but now I just feel like I really want to own who I'm becoming. Like I want to be someone who can go in front of crowds, who can really have their own presence anywhere they are and feel comfy in it. Like I just want to have like more confidence than I already have, which like the confidence I already have makes people quiver. But you know, like that means I'm just not for them type of thing. Like I need to know that like my big energy, my big space is okay, because I think I've just been told so much in my life I'm too much. So then I used to like hide my everything so much. And yeah, so I'm just coming into that realization. The awareness is good. I almost felt guilty about it when I was like, oh, I spent so much time in my life in this imposter syndrome and I didn't even realize it, especially since I started putting myself out on social media like this. Like there's always that part of me that knows my direction and stuff, but then I'm just like, oh, I don't even fully believe in what I'm doing. Like, you know, like in a sense where I'm just like, I wish I just full confidence like owned the stuff I'm doing, like on the inside. I know it really projects sometimes on the outside. I get that a lot about people being like, oh, you're so confident. I'm like, yeah. And then like there'll be those days where I'm extra confident and stuff, but then the next day I'll be like, I'll be watching those stories and like, oh, who's she? You know? So I wish to be consistent. I wish to just love myself unconditionally and own my power so unconditionally. And that is something that is now in my awareness, and now I'm just so excited about. And then when I was finishing that thought, I was like, what can I do to get myself a little bit more out of this funk? And then instantly, as I was writing like my journal entry on my laptop, I just wrote down, I'm writing a forgiveness letter. And I was like, oh, there it is. That's what I'm gonna do today. Because I realized that although I feel imposter syndrome can keep me in the past sometimes when I'm in these kind of moods, I also need to forgive the people of my past, because I've been saying it, and I think I've been trying to put it in my awareness, but I never actually put action into it. So I think writing the letter is finally me having my say, because even earlier when I got triggered, I wrote on my story, I was like, I wish I was able to have my say in before leaving a connection. I wish I got to say my piece, even to their face. Like that was the intention, because I never wanted to leave something and then leave them a message on social media after, you know? I was like, okay, if I'm gone, I'm gone. But I wish I just waited a little bit. But sometimes, you know, I'm glad in some cases it wasn't like that. But now in this letter, I actually got to say who I forgive, what I forgive them for, and then because everything's always a reflection of you somehow, I finished off writing what I forgive myself for when it came to who I was forgiving, what I was forgiving them for. Like, for example, I'm going to read them out to you. I forgive myself for believing I was unworthy of love and attention. I forgive myself for abandoning my spirit to keep the peace. I forgive myself for holding a grudge after each abandonment. I forgive myself for longing for connections in every person I encountered. I forgive myself for allowing people to project their hurt onto me and taking it personal. I forgive myself for choosing people who hurt me because I needed to find that eventually. I forgive and forget these hurtful experiences because it greatly contributed to who I am. Like, I can just live a life of all this peace. Like, you know, I was thinking for so long, I was like, I can forgive but not forget them. And I was like, but what is the point of holding on to this memory? What is it serving me now? It's not doing anything. Like, it already contributed to who I am today. It's not like if I forget them, I'll forget the lessons, because I definitely won't forget the lessons. So I'm just like, what is the point? You know, it's not doing anything. It's just literally holding me back, literally. And especially because most of these people that I'm forgiving, I haven't even seen for almost a year, if not more, for some of these people, you know? So it's just like, I don't even fully remember what you look like. So what's the point of holding on to a memory, you know? And then I finished off by like empowering myself by all these I am affirmations on how I'm like feeling now and what I want to call in. I plan to burn this paper when I go for a smoke later tonight, just to like really amp up that energy, because I have been wanting to forgive for a very long time. I just didn't know what it took for me to open up that avenue for myself. But let me read some I am affirmations. Maybe it'll inspire some of your empowering, because we love to be empowered. we love to empower ourselves too. I have so much like freaking like big energy inside right now. Like I can feel it. Like I can feel my whole intuition and my spirit team be like, I am so fucking everything's just so excited for me right now. Like I'm so excited. Like I feel like I freaking won the lottery, how I feel inside. Like I unblocked something heavy today. Like I've been holding on to this shit for years. Like some of the people I wrote on here, years. The thing I was forgiving my mother for was since childhood. Like, fuck, you know? So anyways, back to the affirmations. Oh my god, I got excited. So I deserve all I desire because my heart is open. I decide to live a life of integrity, love, and peace. I transform my darkness into power. I accept my darkness because it's also a part of me. I love unconditionally. I transmute negativity into strength. I speak my truth in every space I'm in. I trust my intuition fully. I live a life of no financial worries. I want to help as many people as I can. I am brave, loyal, courageous, loving, and kind. I give myself rest when I need to. I live a busy and balanced life. I am a safe space. I am worthy of everything I desire. I am ready. I am known for my multifaceted personality, work, message, and mission. I get a lot that people cannot keep up with me, so I felt like that was a great affirmation for me because I fit in no shapes, no such shape boxes, none. I am a circle, everlasting, continuous, learning, continuous, student, teacher, master, baby, everything, all at once, and you are true. I really, I was even thinking the other day that anyone can be reformed through love, literally through love. You look at anyone who gets in trouble, like who's like in prison or just anything like that, and you just look at their childhood and all they're missing as a general sense is love. Everyone who is hurting and expresses it on the outside literally is devoid of love. That's it. So imagine if we learn how to be a community altogether where we can actually express our emotions and accept it, not take each other's stories personally, but to understand. And if you don't understand, give yourself grace and patience. Like, you don't have to force yourself to be in spaces, be around people that do not align with you. There's so much people in this world. Imagine if you had to be connected to everyone. We are connected to everyone. That wasn't a good example. But I mean, like, those who resonate with your energy and path is what I mean. Like, there's a community for everyone. There's absolutely a community for anyone. You must show your authentic side. You must forgive people who have hurt you to move on, to gather. Because if you think you can go through this life alone, you are victimizing yourself hard. Because I truly thought, I was like, all right, I'm by myself. But then in these moments, especially during burnout, which happens if you think you can go through life alone, the burnout phase was just never worth it for me. I literally always wanted to give up, always. And what I always fell back on was a community. Like, every time I was in the most depressive state, a stranger reached out to me, and it literally changed my whole life and changed my whole paradigm from when I was in a very depressed state to like, all right, I know I'm not the only one, first of all, going through something, We need to help each other. You know? You know what? Like, I really don't like hearing, I hate hearing, oh, it's okay, I'm going through something too. Yes. Yes. So let's all understand each other. The gravity on how like we experience pain will correlate with someone of that energy. We just need to open up. We need to be brave in that sense. Vulnerability is your strongest power, because when you really accept yourself for who you are, accept your story and everything, there's literally no one who can take you down. No one who can hurt you, because you're like, all right, I own my truth. Like, if someone tried to make fun of me for something I did, I'd be like, yeah, I did that. Definitely. Yeah. Good times, bad times, learn my lesson. You know, like I literally can own up to everything. There's so many embarrassing stories that I'm actually gonna share in a YouTube one day. I'm gonna out myself so hard. These are all my embarrassing stories that I've ever known about myself, and I'm gonna share it. That's not the next video though. I actually just keep, oh my god, that idea just popped into my head now. I'm so thankful for that blessing, but that'll be another video. Okay, so I'm wishing you strength. I'm wishing you love, and I really hope you can open up a little bit more. And if it's just opening up one thing to one person, start. Just as long as you start. You don't trauma dump. Don't trauma dump unless they're prepared for it. If you want to really, really share your story, please ask if that person is also ready to hear it. Because if they're in a place to not hear it, you can feel so dismissed on the inside, because they weren't prepared for that. You know, anything you share is energy. So if you're kind of sharing a really heavy story and there's someone who just like isn't tapped into their emotions like that, you're gonna feel isolated, you know? So kind of be like, can I share this story with you about, you know? And you know, if they can't hold space like that, you know, boundaries, right? You kind of like navigate if you can talk about something of yours to that person. And if it's just someone you actually can't share something with, I don't think there's someone meant to be in your life. If you feel like you have to hide any part of yourself, they shouldn't be in your life, because you need to be your true self in every space you're in. Like, if you only felt comfy showing your left side to a crowd of people and then your right side to a crowd of people, you are not your true self. Because what if they have to mingle one day? You're gonna feel like, oh my god, who am I? You know? So I hope you get really in touch with yourself and your heart. Please be patient and gentle with yourself. Healing is not at all linear. Healing is not at all supposed to happen all at once. No, you can literally get triggered by the same thing over and over until it gets healed. Like, it just like when you get triggered by things, it's kind of like a reminder that this pain is still lingering and you want to address it, or else it's kind of still gonna continuously ping. And if you're holding on to that pain, and then more events start happening to kind of like amplify those thoughts of that pain and just like that experience in general, like, you're gonna be stuck in there. You're gonna victimize yourself and be like, oh my gosh, this is happening to me all the time. like this is my life, this is what I accept because I'm experiencing it all the time. So I hope that with each thing that happens, you learn from it, and that you still learn how to keep your heart open after that. Because I may have not experienced all the different types of heartbreaks in this world, but I know I've experienced enough to know that I'm the only one who's gonna mend it again, and I'm the only one who can be my authentic self. We are here for ourselves. Remember that. Remember that. I appreciate your time so much. Seriously, if you watch to the end of this video, I would appreciate some hearts. Please put some hearts. I know you're shy. I'm not gonna be like, ooh, that person wrote on my thing. No, don't worry. Low-key, I'm a Leo, you know, I need a little bit of validation, you know. Like, I'm still gonna post YouTube videos like out of my heart space for sure. Like, this won't impact anything because I have so many videos that don't have like comments or anything, so it doesn't impact it at all. But I just actually want to start engaging on here just to build my community. I want to know what love is. Bye!